Hello, my friends. I am Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. Many of you are wondering, since you have filed an extension form with the IRS to file a 1040 income tax form with the IRS, instead of April 15th to October 15th, do you still have to file that 1040 tax form with the IRS? And the answer is no. Check out the good news I'll show you right here. Let's start from the government's own official legal websites: the IRS, U.S. Treasury Department, U.S. House of Representatives, Supreme Court. Let's start with the IRS's own forms first. This is the application for automatic extension of time to file a U.S. individual income tax return. You go to the bottom of the form. All you gotta do is just detach the bottom part here. That asks you only for some information about you. Does not require you to file a 1040 income tax confession form. Does not require you to put the rope around your neck under oath, under penalty of perjury. It's absolutely harmless and does not in any way obligate you to do anything whatsoever by any date. Now, let's go forward to the IRS's own website on the 1040 income tax form, which is a U.S. individual income tax return. You see, who is that U.S. individual? Depends on what the U.S. really is. That's a trick, folks. I'm all for life-saving, gender-affirming care, but not by their definition, but by the true definition. You see, they're defining things differently than what you think. It's all deception. Watch this. The IRS's instructions are correct for the 1040 form. What they tell you on page 8 is about filing requirements, that these rules apply to all U.S. citizens, regardless of where they live, and resident aliens. Absolutely correct. But what is the U.S. and the U.S. citizens that they are referring to here? We'll come back to that, but let's first look at the regulations by U.S. Treasury Department about tax on individuals. Code of Federal Regulations, Part 1.1-1 says this in A1, Section 1 of the code. What code are they referring to, folks? The Internal Revenue Code. Right here, folks, is the federal tax laws on paper. I have it all here in this book. About 10,000 pages of gobbledygook, tissue thing, confusing thing, but IRS has to follow. This is their Bible. So this is the book we're going to referring to here online. I'm going to show it to you online in just a minute. So the Section 1 of the code imposes an income tax on the income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of the United States. There's that key term, United States. We're going to go define it right now at uscode.house.gov. Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code I just showed you. Yes, Chapter 79 is on definitions. Look at this. They say in this section, when used in this title, again, what title? Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code. The federal tax laws. You look at it online. So they define many things here, like person, corporation, fiduciary. Look at this. They define the term United States to mean, when used in a geographical sense, it includes only the states and the District of Columbia. Aha! Well, how about the term state? The term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia. Wow, look at that. No matter how many United States or how many states you have, it's all District of Columbia. 2 or 10 District of Columbias add up to still the District of Columbia. That is what the term United States mean. That's what the U.S. citizen referring to is a D.C. citizen. Folks, remember, America is 50 states, countries in the Union, and the federal government right there in Washington, D.C. on the right side, you see, is an agent of the states. That's where the federal government is sovereign over the District of Columbia. And I'll tell you what, you're thinking, Peymon, The 50 states are there, not according to the U.S. Supreme Court. Here we go, folks. Take a look at this case I'm going to show you called Stenberg versus Carhart, which came out in the year 2000. And it says, when a statute or law includes an explicit definition, like the ones we just saw, we must follow that definition, even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. Yep. And it is axiomatic or self-evident, obvious, that the statutory definition of the term excludes unstated meanings of the term. 50 states are not here in a definition of the United States, therefore it is not there, pure and simple. And here's another case from Supreme Court, Gould versus Gould, unanimous 9-0 tax case from 1917 that says this: in their interpretation or understanding of statutes, laws, levying taxes, imposing taxes, it is the established rule not to extend their provisions of tax laws by implication, by implying beyond the clear import of the language used, or to enlarge their operations so as to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. If it's not there, it is not there. United States definition does not include anywhere in it any of the 50 states. Therefore, it's only the District of Columbia, period, folks, okay? And the Supreme Court continues and tells us this: in case of doubt, any doubt, the tax laws are construed most strongly against the government and in favor of the citizen not being taxed. Boom! There it is, folks. It's very clear. Any doubt goes against the government that you have. And here's a definition from Title 26 on subchapter A, Tax on Petroleum. Yes, Section 4612 has its own definition and special rules that says, for the purposes of this subchapter. What subchapter? Subchapter A, Tax on Petroleum. They define many things, including the term United States. And look at that, folks. The term United States means the 50 states. Whoa, it's there. The 50 states is actually there. They didn't forget about it. In fact, they included a bunch of U.S. territories, continental shelf areas, and even foreign trade zones. See, with taxes, they can do it in 50 states, but income taxes, they could not, so they did not do it. Yep. And look at this. Under Section 7701A30, United States person. The term United States person means a citizen or resident of District of Columbia. A domestic, which means within D.C. partnership. A domestic within D.C. corporation, and so forth, folks. Yes, so you know, when you look at this law, regulation 1.1-1, income tax on individuals, it tells us that Section 1 of the Code imposes income tax on the income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of the District of Columbia. That is what the United States is, and that is a citizen or resident of the United States that they're talking about in the 1040 income tax from this land. You're saying you are the D.C. citizen or resident when you fill out this form. This form should be renamed 1040 Washington, D.C. individual income tax form. You're not one of them. Folks, go to freedomlawschool.org, our website, and regain your power and freedom. Never again voluntarily pay the Washington, D.C. swamp, legally and safely guaranteed. And then go to check out step 2, folks, and free yourself of hanging yourself. Live free now. Go see the detailed video below in the description that give you more explanation, and start living free life now. No, you don't have to file a 1048 form by October 15th or ever, as long as you're not a citizen or resident of Washington, D.C.